So a while back I picked up this Plumb Cruiser head off of eBay for a decent price. I'd have to look back. I don't really even remember what I paid for it, but I remember it was a good enough price that I jumped on it. Stamps, all right, it could be a little clearer, but definitely not bad. The kind of bottom corner there probably could be a little bit more crisp, but it is a genuine cruiser head, smaller eye. Roughly 2.5 pounds. So at my local hardware store, if you live in an area that has a Runnings, at least my local one carries house handle brand handles, and I came across this cruiser one that is in, I think it's a great example of a handle. The fit and finish is not the best, but you can see kind of like the shoulders are a little uneven, but I can work with that. More importantly to me, it's a nice straight piece of hickory, and it has zero run out. So again, I know I talk about this all the time, but if you follow those continuous grains right from the the palm swell up here, all the way right up through the tongue, it's the same grain, growth rings that run that way. So should be a really nice strong handle. Can't tell if it's sapwood or heartwood. If it's sapwood, it's a little bit darker, which is kind of cool. So that's always nice. It does have, from a hardware store, so it's got a bit of lacquer on it. But that's all right, because I'm going to shape it anyways, probably using the Shinto rasp and other various tools, so fine by me. But my plan for the head, it doesn't have a ton of patina on it. It does have a little bit of surface rust, a little bit of the original paint, kind of like down in here. So my thoughts for this head is to just give it a good scrubbing with like a degreaser, some Windex, some brake cleaner, whatever, rubbing alcohol, any of those, anything to kind of lift that oil and grease off it, and then give it a quick coat or a couple coats of cold blue, just kind of even out the finish. I think that'll look really good on it. And then get it hung up. The fit's already pretty, really not bad, so it should be a pretty quick project, as long as I don't get too into the bluing aspect. I can tend to go down a rabbit hole sometimes and be a little bit too much of a perfectionist with it, but my goal is just gonna get more of an even finish, because right now it's kind of splotchy. So I've just got some generic off-brand glass cleaner, Windex, something like that, something to help lift and carry away some of that dirt and grease and rust when we start cleaning it up a little bit. So start with just a blue Scotch Brite. Not quite aggressive enough, kind of move to a fine steel wool. Now, if I wanted a super clean, really even finish, I would be doing a lot more surface prep than I'm doing right now. I'm going into this knowing that the bluing isn't going to be super even. It's not going to look like a nice fresh blued gun barrel. I know that, and I'm fully okay with that. There's a little bit of pitting from this rust. It's really light, but it's there. And in order to get a super smooth finish for the cold bluing, I'd have to do a lot of sanding, making sure the scratch pattern's all going in the right direction. And I can do a better bluing video at some point in the future too, if you guys are really curious about it. So if you want a better example of kind of a good process of cold bluing, take a look at the Craftsman mini hatchet bluing that I did, because that one, it started off with a pretty decently polished head, and I kind of gave it a nice even surface finish, and then did some cold bluing afterwards. So that's the ideal case scenario of surface prep prior to bluing. So This is not going to be that, and I know that, which is fine by me. Alright, so we already cleaned it with Windex. I'm coming back with just some rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. One, this will evaporate quick, so it'll help mix with any of that remaining water or Windex, kind of help lift it off and evaporate it off so we get a nice dry surface finish here. And with it being alcohol too, it will help lift off any remaining oils or greases or anything like that, because really it's that oily finish or any residual oils, waxes, greases that are going to prevent that bluing from doing anything with the steel underneath. That or any pre-existing patina too. That'll also inhibit it. So I know it's not gonna be super even. That's okay. Just kind of looking to even it more out and darken it up overall, even if it still has some variations and splotches in it. And honestly, if I don't like it after that, I can still go back and sand the whole thing, get a good surface prep, super even, and then blue it too. But I think I'll be happy enough with it. It's just kind of a even coat of blue on it without really doing a lot of surface sanding, just cleaning. So I've done the initial coat, and I like coming back through, just scuffing up with the fine steel wool. So you can see now it's already starting to look a little bit more even. Kind of got some of that rainbow effect to it. That's alright. Do a couple more coats of it. It'll even out a lot more once I'm done doing the bluing and I take some steel wool to it and kind of do it once over and then oil it. So, yeah, keep at it. Alright, so we did multiple coats of that cold bluing, and right now you can see the difference, hopefully, between how it was before and now. The silver parts from before are definitely more evened out. You can still see the rust spots, and they're a bit red in color right now because I don't have any oil on it. My thoughts are, once I actually get the handle fitted up, I'm going to oil the head, and that should even out some of those kind of reddish rust spots. It should turn them a bit darker and should blend more in with the darker cold blue. If I don't like it, I'll just sand it, and then we'll kind of get that darker blued finish everywhere, and I'll go back and re-blue it. But I'm happy with how it's coming out now. It's more along the lines of what I was hoping. It looks more like an even patina with some patches of like lighter rust pitting. So, might sound kind of odd, but it's more along the lines of what I was looking for. Just not the difference between like the rust and the bare metal. So, it's all darker now, which is what I wanted. I think it'll look good oiled. So, on to the handle now. So this is how far it sat after the initial seat. I haven't shaped the handle at all yet. So like I said, double bits with hammers, anything that you can easily get the orientation mixed up in, it's always a good idea to mark the handle. So. So our handle is done. I've got it sanded all the way up to 220. I don't know how well you can see that, but I've got it sanded up to 220. And then burnished with, fine steel wool. So it's a really nice smooth finish. If you like a grippier finish, you can always rough this back up with a file or whatever afterwards, but I'm not sure if we're using gloves with this or who knows what, but yeah, I left a nice smooth finish on it. So that should be good. I've got my wedge fit up. I've got it tapered at both of the edges here, and a little wider than it needs to be right now, just barely. So I can go probably about halfway down without any effort. So driving it that little bit should compress. Should be in good shape. So I have not put any oil on the head yet. You can see some of that blued and rusted combo finish. I think I'm going to leave it. If I don't like it after I oil it, I can always sand it back down again. But kind of like it how it is. So it's a little different than just blued. And like I said, when I oil it, I think some of those brown spots are going to darken up just a little bit too. So I like it better than the shiny, so we're going to go with it. So we get you set up, and then we'll Do a final seat on this and drive the wedge the home stretch here. Alright, I think the camera shut off, so I'm not sure how much of that I got, but got that seated right to our line, right where we want to be. Looks like a nice tight fit. Good compression all the way around. The wedge did break, but I don't mind that one bit. I've said in other videos too, like where if the wedge breaks halfway in the center, you can drive one half a little further down than the other half. That's fine with me because it means you're going to get better compression on both sides. The wedge doesn't have to be, you know, a single piece. So, at least in my mind, you can correct me if you've got other thoughts on it. Let me know down below. But yeah, get this trimmed up and oiled up. I like it. Let's clean it up. All shaped up. The eye is all, the hang is all good. Top of the eye is all sanded. The only thing that's left is to throw some oil on it. And I'm gonna use some walnut oil again just because it hasn't been that long since I did the charred Collins build, so I'm gonna throw a fresh coat on that too. So we're all oiled up and good to go. I like how the blued finish kind of came out with that like patina that was left there, some of that rust. It gives a little bit different look than just straight sanded and blued. So I like it for now. I'm gonna keep it. I wasn't too sure about it at the start, but I do like how it came out. So that'll stay that way it is. Happy with that hang, came out nice and tight. Nice and tight hang here. Domed that end just a little bit to focus. Yeah, I'm happy with the project overall. Kind of a quick one, nothing too crazy about it, nothing too unique, but I didn't have a Plumb Cruiser in my collection, and now I do. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoy. Stay tuned for the next one.